Okay, so hopefully you had some time to pause the video and um, to do numbers 2 through 8 on page 41 of our workbook, all right, the white book. So let's go over the answers together. All right, so number 2, most people in Quebec blank 2 languages, French and English. So we need to use the affirmative or the negative of speak, right? So I think we're going to use the affirmative, the positive, all right? Most people in Quebec are able to speak 2 languages, French and English, all right? Number 3, they're complaining because they blank a conversation. It's too noisy in here, all right? So the parenthesis is have, all right? So we have to use the affirmative or the negative of be able to. I'm going to use the negative, okay? So they're complaining because they aren't able to have a conversation. It's too noisy in here. All right, number 4. My neighbor has a set of my keys. She blank my door if I lose my keys. All right, so the word in parentheses is open, and I'm going to use the affirmative of be able to. All right, so my neighbor has a set of my keys. She is able to open my door if I lose my keys. All right, number 5. The technician blank my computer now. I have to wait until tomorrow. So the word in parentheses is fix, and I'm going to use the negative of be able to. All right, so the technician isn't able to fix my computer now. I have to wait until tomorrow. Number 6. I'm sorry, but Tom blank here today. He's too busy. The word in parentheses is be, and I'm going to use the negative of be able to. And I'm going to say, I'm sorry, but Tom isn't able to be here today. He's too busy. All right, number 7. They blank the apartment now because it has a new smoke alarm. The word in parenthesis is rent, and I'm going to use the affirmative of be able to. They are able to rent the apartment now because it has a new smoke alarm. And now on the last one, number 8. I blank the office at 5 o'clock today. I have too much work to do. So I'm going to, so the word in parentheses is leave, and I'm going to use the negative of be able to. So I'm going to write, I am not able to leave the office at 5 o'clock today. I have too much work to do. All right, so those are my answers. And hopefully you got the same. Okay, so let's move on down to number 3. So in number 3, you want to write the sentences that are true for you. Okay? Use be able to and the words in parentheses. Okay? So the first one is done for us. Run a mile in 10 minutes. Right? So this one is done for us. Right? I am able to run a mile in 10 minutes. Or I am not able to run a mile in 10 minutes. Okay? So you pick which one is best for you. Right? So number 2, lift 10 pounds with one hand. I am able to lift 10 pounds with one hand, or I am not able to lift 10 pounds with one hand. Whichever one fits your circumstance. All right? So this is an exercise that you can do, and because it's personal for you, you can write down your answers, and if you choose to share with us, that's fine. That'd be great. You can share during our Zoom meeting or in our WhatsApp classroom environment. If you have any problems, you can also let me know, and I can help you. All right, we can get on Zoom, and I can help you with this as well. All right. So that is our review of Unit 3. All right. So what we've done in Unit 3 is we've talked about friends and family, and specifically we've talked about neighborhood problems. Okay, neighborhood problems. Maybe we needed help for something, and now we're able to talk about in English what we need help with, or if we can help somebody in return. Okay? So let's look at our review. Let's review our vocabulary words and phrases for Unit 3. So the first word is borrow, borrow, broken, broken, came over, complain, complain, favor, favor, noisy, noisy, appreciates, appreciates, battery, battery. And remember, this one, some English speakers, we tend to get a little lazy with the T's. So you might even hear the word battery. It sounds like a D, right? Battery. But it's the same. And then come over, come over, complained, complained, noise, noise, and O. O. All right, it's just like that first letter. It's like the first letter and nothing else after it. Just O. So we don't pronounce the W, and we don't pronounce the E. So it's not owie. Okay, it's O. All right. We'll continue on. Some other words we went over were close, close, hot, hot, small, small, strong, strong, tall, tall, young, young, big, big, experienced, experienced, high, high, old, old, And then the last word is week. Week. All right. Some more vocabulary words, and most of these are phrases. Okay. So the first phrase, break into, get into, get into, get together, goes off, look after, run away, problem, request, today's date, and then the last word is writer. Now, a lot of these words and phrases were in the sections, lessons D and E, okay, where we had to read and write. All right. So if you did pause the video to do lessons D and E, you saw these phrases and words. All right. If you want to practice these and you did not do lessons D and E, then I suggest go back and look at lessons D and E, and you'll see how we use these words. All right. And then, of course, our last bunch of words here: advance, because of, soon, and then the last word is very. All right, so those are the words, vocabulary words, phrases that we've gone over in Unit 3. All right, and if you need to, please pause the video, rewind. You can check these words out again on how we pronounce them. You can also go over into the dictionary if you don't know some of these, and look up their definitions. All right. So now what I'd like to do is to continue our review, but to go over our borrow and lend. All right. I just want to make sure that we understand the difference between borrow and lend, meaning the direction, because they are very similar. All right. So when we come back, we're going to go over the borrow and lend quiz. All right. Okay, so we're going to do our borrow or lend quiz. All right, this is not in the book, so let's follow along. I've broken this down into 10 questions. All right, so first let's look at the questions, and then you answer the question to what you think is correct, either borrow or lend, and then we'll go back and we'll look at the answers together. All right. So number 1, the question is, could you lend or borrow me a dictionary, please? Which one would it be? Could you lend or borrow dictionary, please? Number 2, I need to lend or borrow a black skirt. Do you have one? Number 3, please can I lend or borrow your car for the weekend? Number 4, if I ask really nicely, will you lend or borrow me your pearl necklace? All right. Number 5, I lent or borrowed my baking tin to Emily ages ago and I still haven't gotten it back. So that's past tense. Number 6. I don't know if I trust her enough to let her borrow or lend my camera. Number 7. I borrowed or lent Monica's earrings, but I think I've lost them. So here again, we're talking past tense. Number 8. If you borrow or lend a book from the library, you have to return it. All right. And number 9. Have you ever lent or borrowed someone something really special to you? So here again, this is past tense. And then number 10. Nicholas doesn't lend or borrow, he steals. That's sad. Nicholas is a thief. Poor Nicholas. Bad life. Alright, so we have 1 through 10. If you need to, pause the video and go back through them, right? And answer whether it's borrow or lend, borrowed or lent, depending on the tense, right? Tense of the question or the sentence that we used. All right. So take some time, do that, and we'll come back and we'll look at the answers to our borrow or lend quiz. All right. Let's stop the video and take our time to answer those questions. Okay, so hopefully you've had enough time to go through the quiz and answer the questions. Let's look at our answers. All right, so number 1, could you lend me your dictionary, please? So the first one is lend. Number 2, I need to borrow a black skirt. Do you have one? So number 2 is borrow. Number 3, please can I borrow your car for the weekend? So number 3 is borrow. Number 4, if I ask really nicely, will you lend me your pearl necklace? So number 4 is lend. So these are the answers for the first 4. Lend, borrow, borrow, lend. All right, number 5. I lent my baking tin to Emily ages ago and I still haven't gotten it back. All right, so this one is lent, past tense. Number 6, I don't know if I trust her enough to let her borrow my camera. So number 6 is borrow. Number 7, I borrowed Monica's earrings, but I think I've lost them. So number 7 is borrowed. Again, this is past tense. And then number 8, if you borrow a book from the library, you have to return it. So number 8 is borrow. So number 5, lent. Number 6, borrow. Number 7, borrowed. Number 8, borrow. Let's look at number 9. Have you ever lent someone something really special to you? So this here is lent, past tense. And then Number 10. Nicholas doesn't borrow. He steals. Poor Nicholas is a thief. Poor guy. So number 10 is borrow. Number 9 is lent. Number 10 is borrow. So hopefully you got those correct. If we still have problems with borrow or lend, please let me know. We can work on it some more. But I do know that it's pretty, it can be kind of tricky tricky using borrow or lend. So I wanted to go over that one more time so that we can really have a chance to get it down. Alright, so now we're going to move into the beginning of reviewing Unit 4. Alright, so when we come back, we'll start reviewing Unit 4.